Hey, Caitlin. You've known Paige since middle school, AAU. You guys were on the U19 World Cup team together. Is there anything that maybe stood out then about her, whether it be on or off the court, that maybe still reigns true today?
I mean, I feel like she's played in the same manner that she, has since she was, whether we were on the U16 team together, U19 team together, whether it was me watching her in AAU. Like, she's always just been smooth. She takes what the game gives her.
What if the most anticipated showdown of the season wasn't about who scored more, but who owned the moment? Tonight, Gainbridge Fieldhouse buzzed like a charged battery, everyone waiting for one of the two phenoms, Caitlin Clark or Paige Bueckers, to seize the spotlight. Fans wore rival jerseys, scalpers hawked last-second seats for NBA playoff prices, and social feeds refreshed by the second. Yet the play that ultimately tilted everything barely made the highlight reels, and the lesson it taught could rewrite how we judge greatness in the W.
The Indiana Fever beat the Dallas Wings 102-83. This was a highly anticipated game because it was going to be the first time that Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers would be going up against one another in the WNBA.
Before the final horn, one player turned hype into horsepower, while the other learned how thin the line is between brilliance and burden. Let's rewind the tape, possession by possession, and uncover how a game born of fireworks morphed into a masterclass on control. Caitlin Clark entered year 2 already carrying more weight than most vets lug in a decade. She had the endorsement empire, an 8-year Nike pact rumored at $28 million, and the expectations that come with turning arenas into sellouts from Connecticut to California. The groin strain that sidelined her for 5 games only seasoned the narrative.
Her midi has always been as nice as it's been this year. She just plays way older than she is. Like, she's confident, she's smooth, she just does everything at a high level, can score from all 3 levels. And that's how she's always played. And that's obviously translated really well.
Critics claimed the league had figured her out, pointing to a mini slump in early June. Believers insisted she was pacing herself for a deeper run. Either way, Clark arrived still on a minute's leash, but with her stat sheet yelling 18 points, 8.9 dimes, and 5 boards a night. Across the floor, Paige Bueckers wore rookie stripes that looked suspiciously like superstar stripes. 3 months prior, Dallas snatched her with the number 1 pick, banking that her UConn sharpened killer instinct would translate immediately. It did. 20-point bursts, ankle-breaking hesitations, and enough jersey sales to keep the Wings merch tent bustling.
Here's Clark being hawked by Isaiah James. Clark sidestepping 3 is good. Clark backing down Quinterly. 6 to shoot, fading away and dropping it in. Beautiful. Here's Clark off the screen, through the lane, feeds Howard. Another assist for Clark. That's 13 as Howard is up to 18 points.
She even survived an early scare. A short concussion spell followed by knee soreness, without losing rhythm. Then punched her ticket as a first-year All-Star starter. Dallas rolled into Indy at 6-15, but inside every Wings huddle, the message was the same. We've got the only guard who can outgun Clark. Believe the hype. The atmosphere felt like the WNBA's version of Bird Vissor's Magic, only streaming-era speed. Pre-game tunnels buzzed with DSLR flashes. Clark calm in signature Nike hoodie.
And a lot of people are saying, oh, everything is she was Caitlin before Caitlin, she's better than Caitlin and all this stuff. That kind of stopped in the media. Caitlin Clark put up better numbers in the WNBA than Paige did in college.
Bueckers smiling in oversized Wings warm-ups. Courtside, analysts argued player comps, Curry Vision versus Hardencraft, while TikTok creators choreographed intro dances. Yet, for all the glitz, both guards kept eyes forward. They'd spent summers at USA camps together, pushing each other in silent wars of one-upmanship. Now, that private rivalry had 17,001 witnesses and countless more watching live. Tip-off landed like a starting gun at a 100-meter dash.
And Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. You know, Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player.
Dallas struck first. Araike Ogunbowale ripping a board, Paige threading a bounce pass to center Lee Ueru for a lay-in. Indiana's reply was instantaneous. Clark took a swing pass 2 steps across, half court, and launched from the logo as if warming up. Net. Crowd detonated, cameras caught Bueckers nodding, half grin, half game on. The duel was alive. The opening minutes felt like heavyweight jabs designed to sting rather than end things outright. Bueckers curled from the mid-post and drained a fade so smooth the net barely whispered.
Lee Ueru the other night had a season high 18 points. Here's Boston turning the corner. Dishing to Hull. Extra feed Clark. A deep 3. You bet! And he actually brought up stats from a shooting slump Steph Curry went through. She said that made her feel a lot better. That pass will as well. Right on the money to Mitchell.
Cunningham attacked the closeout.
Clark, the rejection of Quinterly. Clark, the flick ahead. Oh, beautifully done. Touchdown fever.
Clark countered with a backdoor dime to Kelsey Mitchell for an easy 2 and then jumped a passing lane, racing the length for a solo layup. When Clark rejected a screen at the 7-minute mark, JJ Quinterly met her at the hip, bodying hard. Clark hit the deck. The arena inhaled, but the superstar simply dusted off, hit both freebies, and jogged back with that signature poker face. Bueckers sensed the moment. She drifted off an Azura Stevens handoff, feeling space, and rose into a corner 3, bottom.
I feel like this stretch, this is a big game for us. I think we've struggled in the fact that we're able to play one good game, and then we play a bad game, then we play a good game, then we play a bad game. So I think for us is like, we got to find a way to be able to stack really good games together. And then we go on the road and, we're on a back-to-back, which is just a challenge in itself. No matter who you're playing, we play Connecticut, then we play New York. So I think Steph's message was, yes, All-Stars coming up, that break's coming up, but our focus is on these 3 games that we have left. So in that sense, I do think it's critical that our focus just remains on the game in front of us, and I feel like that's what everybody in the locker room is doing.
Next trip, she drove baseline, dragged help, and zipped a pass to Asia James for matching fireworks. Indiana refused to blink. Boston bulldozed a putback at the horn, and the Fever stole a 1-point edge. Scoreboard tight, tempo tighter. ESPN's sideline mic picked up an assistant murmuring, "Nobody can keep this pace." Viewers felt the same. The quarter played like condensed highlight film. No fat, all flash. What happened next ripped the script clean in half. Ari McDonald opened the frame with a calm step-back triple that fizzled any wing's momentum. Clark followed with pure orchestration, a cross-court whip to Natasha Howard, an NFL-style outlet to Sophie Cunningham, and a no-look pocket feed to Boston on the short roll. Dallas blinked, and suddenly Indiana rattled off a 14-2 burst. The Wings tried everything, 2-3 zone, switching all 5, even a brief box-and-1 on Clark. None of it mattered. Clark split traps with hip-swiveling dribbles, drew double help, and ping-pong dimes that looked pre-programmed. At the 4:21 mark, she lost Quinterly on a stutter, stepped back from 28 feet, and drilled it. Gainbridge raised decibel levels to small jet territory. By halftime, Indiana had piled up 64 points, shattering a franchise record. Clark's line read like a stat lab fantasy. 12 points, 9 assists, 3 steals, 0 panic. On the other bench, Dallas head coach Latricia Trammell wore the expression of someone reading a plot twist no spoiler warned her about. Bueckers sat wedged between assistant coaches, towel over shoulders, already at 11 points but searching for answers. For viewers, the avalanche felt sudden, but in truth, it was surgical. Clark's every read predicted Dallas coverage seconds ahead. The Wings, meanwhile, coughed turnovers, 4 in a 3-minute span that Indiana converted into instant offense. When the halftime buzzer at last muted the chaos, the Fever held a 22-point cushion. Social media responded with the speed of caffeine. Memes of Clark in conductor's garb, Wings tweets drowned by reply gifs of imploding engines. And yet, tension loomed. Clark's minutes cap hovered at 24. She'd already logged 16. Could Dallas exploit the breathing room once she sat? Cameras cut to Bueckers, tapping her chest as teammates filed into the tunnels. A silent vow that this wasn't finished. Third quarters can lull even devoted viewers, but this one began with a reminder that greatness rarely naps. Clark opened by backing down a switch, rocking a retreat dribble, and draining an elbow fade. Less than 20 seconds later, she launched a three-quarter court dime that dropped into Mitchell's hands like rain in a bucket. Timing, touch, takeover. Then came Paige. She squared at the mid-post, ripped through contact, and dropped a one-handed floater off glass. It wasn't just 2 points, it was a message that artistry still breathed on the opposing side. Over the next 5 minutes, she carved 10 points, shoulder fakes, hesitation drives, a jumper so contested the defender's fingertips grazed her wrist. Her pull-up bank through contact had fans of both teams gasping. But here lay the difference. Whenever Bueckers flashed, Clark responded by magnifying teammates. She baited a soft hedge, slipped a bounce to Boston for a free throw line dagger. She gunned a hook pass over the traffic to Howard for lay-in number 14. And where Bueckers tallied 4 turnovers, Clark was spotless, stealing 2 of those miscues herself. A single sequence at 1:03 in the third captured the night. Bueckers danced into a triple threat, swung through right, rose for a jumper, splash. The NBC ticker flashed Bueckers 21 PTS. Indiana inbounded to Clark. She jogged past midcourt, scanned, and with one flick lofted an alley to Timpson for a two-hand cram that detonated the bench. Clark then pointed skyward, signaling assist number 12, and subbed out to the roar of a crowd that knew brilliance when it saw it. Still, Bueckers refused surrender. Early fourth, she burst between defenders, hatched a lefty floater, then fed J.J. Quinterly on a backdoor cut. Dallas shaved the margin to 17, the smallest since halftime. That's when Clark returned. Minutes limit scrapped in favor of momentum insurance. First touch, knifes a hook pass to Howard for a lay-in. Next trip, attacks a hard closeout, draws 2, flings a no-look to Boston sealed deep. Assist 14, game over. Final stat lines sang contrasting tunes. Clark, 14 points, 13 assists, 5 steals on 7 of 13 shooting in 27 minutes. Bueckers, 21 points, 7 assists, 4 turnovers on 7 of 16. The duel existed, one flashy, one flawless, but Indiana's 102-83 scoreboard told the fuller truth. Yet the story never ends at the final horn, not in 2025. Minutes after handshake lines, Bueckers found herself at the post-game dais, confronted by a question veiled as critique. Paige, Clark intercepted 2 of your passes. Were those bad reads, or did she simply outsmart you? The rookie smiled, crediting Clark's instincts, and pivoted to her own mistakes. Clip went viral in hours, half calling the reporter disrespectful, half praising blunt journalism. Meanwhile, Clark filed straight into national talking points she never asked for. Her return from injury had already been a tabloid magnet, some fans whispering she'd lost her burst, others speculating Nike forced an early comeback to protect jersey sales. An old rumor even resurfaced that she declined a $400 million super shoe offer because it required aligning with Colin Kaepernick. Snopes squashed it, but in the echo chamber, rumors rarely die. They shape hashtags, algorithm feeds, and most importantly, future clicks. Bueckers has her own swirl. Dallas social media lit the match weeks earlier, tweeting 3 little words, "Believe the hype," over her slow-mo step-back clip. Supporters loved it. Skeptics labeled it premature given the Wings' 6-16 record. Her 3-game concussion absence, then knee flare-up added fuel. Can she stay healthy? Talk shows asked. Odds makers downgraded her Rookie of the Year likelihood for exactly 12 hours until she dropped 28 on Seattle. There's money pressure too. Clark's 8-figure deal resuscitated a pay equity debate the league thought dormant. Bueckers, still negotiating her first major shoe partner, faces the lopsided reality. Generational star or not, base WNBA salary caps at $88K. She'll need endorsements to match male counterparts' earnings. A truth fans rally around as both a cause and a lightning rod. Yet controversy breeds engagement, and engagement fuels retention. Every rumor, every sideline glare becomes part of a story bigger than any box score. When Clark posted a cryptic Eyes on August photo, just her sneakers on an empty court, some claimed it was a subtweet aimed at Bueckers' All-Star starter nod. She never clarified, of course. Mystery drives views. August 1st. Less than 3 weeks separate tonight's rout from the sequel in Dallas. Fever sit at 13-9, climbing the standings. Wings wobble at 6-16, fighting injuries and identity. Ticket resale already triples face value for that rematch. Local radio calls it the Summer Super Bowl. Indiana knows edges can dull quickly. Boston reminds reporters their 25-4 second quarter run masked turnover issues. Clark, asked if her groin feels 100%, answers with a wry grin. 100 is lowballing it. Yet the medical staff still whispers about load management. Dallas clings to hope in Paige's rapid learning curve. Coaching staff shows her Clark's 2 interceptions in film, not to shame, but to sharpen. Teammates promise Ogunbowale's shooting slump ends soon. And, importantly, the Wings play that game at home. No travel legs, no sea of opposing jerseys. The league office eyes the rivalry like stock traders watching a burgeoning tech giant. When these two meet, viewership spikes 47%, social impressions double, and merchandise flies. Rumors already swirl about scheduling quirks next season to maximize national windows. For now, the narrative is beautifully unfinished. Clark holds the first statement. Bueckers craves a comeback headline. August 1st might feel light years away, unless you're the W's newest ticket seller, in which case every sunrise is a reminder that greatness leaves little room for sleep. On paper, the Fever's 102-83 win will register as a comfortable mid-July blowout, another W in the march toward playoff seeding. But look closer. It was the night poise trumped pyrotechnics, the night Caitlin Clark translated hype into hand-carved mastery. Paige Bueckers tasted how thin air feels at the summit and how punishing the slip can be. Yet rivalries aren't sculpted in single nights. They're forged in the pushback, the counterpunch, the stubborn refusal to stay second. The next chapter lands August 1st under Texas lights, and you'd be wise to circle the date in bold red ink. Because if tonight proved anything, it's that history in this league now writes itself in real time, highlight by highlight, tweet by tweet, rumor by rumor. So I'll ask you, the fan, the skeptic, the casual scroller, whose signature moment will echo loudest 5 years from now? Clark's command, Bueckers' flair, or a plot twist none of us can see yet? Stick around. The story's only getting started.